Hey guys, Wonderson here, and let's clear the confusion today. So, 2016 has been a year of bikes. Perhaps 2017 is a huge year for bikes because already we have so many bikes above 200cc launched till now, till March, and this has created a lot of confusion among you guys that which bike should I buy. So, each and every day I get these comments on my videos and on Instagram that which bike should I buy? I'm confused between Classic 350 and Dominar, or I'm confused between Duke 200 or 250, or whatever it is. So I just thought to make a video dedicated to which bike should you buy above 200cc, so that it can clear all the confusion. And in this video I'll be sharing the way I select my bike. So if I would have selected the bike, I would have selected the way I'll be showing you now. So a lot of you guys ask me questions about which bike has power, which bike has a good engine, or which bike has good styling, or which bike has a good after sales service perhaps. So these are all the questions, common questions asked to me or any other motovlogger, perhaps any other rider on the internet, on YouTube. And this thing is good because the riders are getting matured, the riding community is getting matured, and it is increasing at a bigger rate. And this has created a new level of competition in India as of 2017, a huge competition between 200cc and above. So yes, we have a lot of options. Well, if you ask me how would I select my bike, well, I will select my bike based on three parameters. The first one is the price. Of course, the first thing I'll choose is the price. Of course, the budget comes first, right? The second would be my need. Now, if I want a bike for off-roading, I would go for an off-roading bike, right? If I want bike for touring, I'll go for touring, and vice versa. And once my need is done, selected, I'll select a brand according to my need and my price. And then at last I'll see the after sales service. I don't want a bike which has a pathetic after sales service, which has a very expensive after sales service, and it has very less after sales service. So I want a bike which has, of course, good after sales service, and preferably the after sales service cost should be less as far as possible, right? So the first thing is the price. Now I have divided each and every parameter into 4 quarters, the high price and the low price, and for a naked bike that is N, and for a faired bike, faired motorcycle like F. The bike which has a high price and which is a naked bike would be KTM series of Duke, that is the 390 Duke, the 390 2017, and the Duke 250. Now these 3 bikes are pretty expensive bikes, above 2 lakh rupees. I have covered all this price segment based on the pricing of the bike, which is above 2 lakh rupees to be high price and below that to be a low price. Now the next would be a bike which is a low cost bike, that is less than 2 lakh, and which is a naked bike. So Duke 200, Dominar, NS 200, the new one, FZ 250, Royal Enfield series of Classic, Bullet and Thunderbird 350, Himalayan, Mojo, and TVS Apache RTR 200. So these would be the bike which are naked and at a low price, that is the price below 2 lakh rupees. Then the next would be a high priced bike which is a faired motorcycle, that is above 2 lakh rupees. We don't have a lot of options in here. I've put CBR 250R and RC 390 here. The reason I didn't put a Ninja 300 or a R3 because they are way too expensive and not everybody wants to buy those bikes, right? And then the bikes with a low price and which are faired are RS 200 and RC 200. Now comes the need. So I have divided the need into 4 quarters. First is the touring, then is the commuting, and then style, and then speed or power or track. So I've clubbed them into one. So the first is, of course, Duke 390, Duke 250, Dominar, Royal Enfield 350 or 500, then the Himalayan and the CBR 250R. All these bikes are okay for touring. They are not built for touring, but they are okay for touring in terms of Indian market. Now the second category is the commuting bike, which most of people would want to buy, and fortunately there are a lot of options. The most options are in the commuting category itself. The first is the Duke 250, Duke 200, NS 200, RTR 200, FZ 250, Mojo, Royal Enfield 350, CBR 250R, RS 200 and RC 200. So these are all the bikes. A lot of variety of bikes you are getting in commuting section, and most of the people want to buy bikes for commuting. So these are really good options for you. And the next category is the speed, power or track focused bikes. Now, not all the bikes are track focused here, but I have clubbed them into one category to make it simple. First is of course for track categories, the RC 390, RC 200, Duke 390, CBR 250R. These I consider more track focused, but preferably I would select RC series, and the Duke series are best for track because they have slipper clutch, they have Metzeler tires and all those specs kind of thing. And the rest are the 250, Duke, the Dominar and the Mojo. So these bikes come under a powerful section where you'll get a high top speed, a high torque, high pickup and really good thrilling feedback from your bike. The next is the style. Now a lot of you guys want to impress girls, to make girlfriends, or to swag in front of your friends or family or whatever. So these are the bikes which will put you on hold for style. The first is the Duke 390, of course, the new model. Duke 250, it looks stunning. Mojo, it also looks good. RTR 200, personally I really like the front look of RTR 200 in budget category. Then RC 390 or 200 looks fabulous. CBR 250R still looks really solid. RS 200 and FZ 250, the new one. So these are all the bikes which comes under style category, and it will really impress a girl. Maybe you can get a girlfriend through these bikes if you do it right. So these are the 4 needs that will be covered, and you can choose your bike among these. Like suppose I want a bike which is good for commuting, which is good for touring, and which is also good for style. So I'll see which all bikes I have in option for all these 3. So I think Duke 250, because it is in all of the 3, Duke 250 is a very good option for me. So similar way you can simplify your need according to your requirements through this simple chart. And then finally the last part, that is the after sales. Now guys, I have collected this information based on some research, my personal experiences, and I've asked a couple of friends of mine who own different kinds of brands of bikes that we are considering today. So I have divided after sales also in 4 categories, 4 quarters. The first is the expense section where the expense is high and the low, and other is the service and availability section. So service and availability, whether it is good or whether it is okay. So the KTM comes here at the first position, where the expense is pretty high. You're giving out more money for your service and your spare parts, but it has a huge network of service centers in collaboration with Bajaj, and they have maintained it pretty well. Now the second is the most interesting part, which all the people who want their bikes to be. The first is the Royal Enfield, Bajaj and then Yamaha, which comes under a category where the expenses for your service would be low and the service and availability will be high. So these 3 are of course the companies which have a huge network and which also cost less for your pocket in terms of service. Then the third is the Mahindra and TVS, which comes under a category where the expense is low but the service and availability is also low. Not everywhere you would find Mahindra and TVS showrooms or service centers in India. You'll have to select the good cities. And Honda would be in a mixed position here, where the expense would be somewhere between high and the service and the availability would be between good and bad. So Honda has a lot of service centers, but not so much as compared to Bajaj. So guys, these are the 3 aspects which I will consider while buying a new bike. Of course, the aspects might differ from person to person. Some people might feel this is important, some people might feel some other thing is important. Well, personally I would select bike based on these 3 factors, and I always do that and suggest to my friends and my relatives or family or whatever. And one more thing, I'm trying to make it clear that no bike is bad. So just in case if I've mentioned a bike which has a low rating in any one of these 3 aspects, don't feel offended guys. every bike is a good bike, but somewhere the best bike is a best bike, right? So there is always a comparison between bikes in terms with any aspect you consider, and not every bike can be best on those aspects, right? It all depends on the way you maintain a motorcycle and the way you ride your motorcycle. And the most important thing I consider among these three factors is this one. Well, the need is really important. People keep asking me that which bike should I buy? Should I buy a Dominar or should I buy a classic? I mean, come on guys. You cannot compare different categories of bike. Ask me this question, that should I buy a Duke 200 or should I buy Dominar? This comes into a comparison because those are similar kind of bikes in a similar kind of price bracket. You cannot compare a cruising motorcycle with a motorcycle which is power hungry. You cannot do that, guys. So first you need to fix your need, that either you want bike for touring or commuting or style or power, and then you have all these options. So that is the reason I made this chart and this board chart to simplify your confusion on which bike to buy. So the first thing I would suggest is you select your need, then you select your price range, and then the after sales service. Now after sales service won't matter to each and everybody. The people who will be in Mumbai like city, or who will be in a city where they have the service center of that particular brand of bike, they don't need to worry. But the people who are in rural areas or who are at the place where they don't have service centers for that particular brand, or who keep on traveling, then they should think over after sales. So, yes, this should have cleared your confusion, right? Throw up the comments. Let me know that this video was helpful to you guys. You can comment down below, ask any questions if you want. Please share this video. It would be helpful to a lot of people, guys. And please connect to my Instagram and Facebook page. A ride is coming soon. And okay, let's give you a hint. This will be a ride to ancient India. So any guesses? Comment down below and just mention your guess. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. It's okay. I mean, you'll already get to know. And if you want to know where we are going exactly, just connect to my Instagram and my Facebook page. The link are here in the description of this video. I'll see you guys in some other place. Please do subscribe if you haven't yet and you have seen this video and still not subscribed. Do subscribe. I've come up with these kind of videos related to bikes and related to traveling, so it might interest you. I'll see you guys in some other place, in some another vlog. Until next time, keep wandering. Peace out.